Hello, another quick video by Pixie. Okay, what do I want to talk about? Yeah, I made some batches of ORMUS, and as you can see, it's well, when you first make it, it would be right up here, and then it settles down, and then you washes it, it goes further down. So the theory is that the alkalinity affects where the position of the ORMUS is in there, so I get an idea of how acidic it is. Well, not acidic, alkalinic, because it's alkaline. A bit like this one's come right down here, because I've been washing it. So I was just testing the theory earlier. Some other stuff that I just whacked another wash in. It was too acidic. But on this one, it had come down by about, I don't know, it's probably about 75%. So there's one aspect of telling you if you've actually, with the wash process, which point you are in there. It really depends how much you put in the first place. But if, like for example, if I put a small amount, like a smidgen, let's say it's a smidgen, an interesting word, and then I made a certain amount of ORMUS, and it came up to there. Let's say it came up to about here, so it's fairly low. I couldn't judge what I'm looking at and say, oh yeah, it's fine because I've washed it and it's still there, because nothing's changed. It's still the alkaline level of it is still too dangerously high. But so you make the judgment. You could probably mark it with a pen. I think people usually do, and that gives you an idea. And then at least you know where you are with the wash process, because you don't want to put anything which is dangerous in yourself. Another key way of telling if you're using this lye method is that the smell of it. It's quite simple. You just sniff it, don't you? It will basically, if it's strong, it will smell like wallpaper paste to me. It has that sort of aroma to it. Because I already know that this one's all fine, the other way I could do is just, obviously if it's nasty, you wouldn't bother doing it. It's be quite. But if you touch or an alkaline, I should keep focus on alkaline. Yeah, so it's a slight, and I've just basically put such a small amount, but it's to taste it on the tongue, because I already know that I washed it 3-4 times. Well, this is probably about 5 times this one. That I've got an idea of where I stand with it. However, this other here would probably burn your tongue, so you wouldn't want to mess around with it really. It's at the moment it's quite like, so it's as sharp as vinegar, that one is. I've watched that probably about 3 times, and it's still, like I say, that's probably too dangerous. I'm not advising people to do this. I'm just saying visual indicators of changes in your ORMUS. Like this one's fairly high. I'll check that one out in a bit. As you see, it's like from where it was right at the very top, it's come down by about half. It's also been washed several times. I'll probably empty it and wash it out with water, and then I'll actually just check it after I've added some load of water to it. Never actually, just you don't taste it. It's more required an alchemist's tongue. And the other issue I've got is that my pH reader, basically it just, whether I've knocked the bottom sensor of it, I don't know, but I've damaged it, and so it doesn't actually give me true figures, so I can't tell the level of alkaline actual water. But yeah, this is an indicator. So what I'm going to be doing is, once I'm happy with my mixtures, because I want to just make sure that they're all okay. I mean, I could add other things to it, like lemon juice or something, that basically it could cause a reaction. Obviously, if it's got a high alkaline, but if it's got low alcohol, I think it's going to neutralise the alkaline effect. By adding an acid, it's going to cause a reaction, but it will neutralise the effect or bring it to a point whereby I know it's going to be more safe if that was an issue, playing around with the pH. But yeah, basically I'm just going to drain it off, pop it in there, and cook it in the oven. I've got just myself a giant dish, so then I can get it faster to a powder process. I don't want to be waiting around and keep on washing it and playing around with it. I just want to get it more of a quicker turnaround. So I'll be playing with that later, and then I'll get an understanding of how effective this method is. anything I say is just general sort of some of it's theory, some of this stuff of experimentation as an individual. So I wouldn't want anyone to say he told me to do this. As a result, this happened, because you just want to play it safe. I think for future experiments, I'll be looking at more the bicarbonate route, or using things that basically I know that requires less washes, and it also has benefits directly to the body. There is some interesting stuff about things like chloride dioxide and stuff like that, removing heavy metals out of the body basically. But it takes a lot of understanding of the different processes. Like I say, definitely the bicarbonate soda has benefits. I've noticed some benefits you actually have in it. So my future experiments probably will use the bicarbonate soda. Also, once I've cooked it, it will have a directly different effect, because I'm putting an oxidized process in there. The hydroxide part of it changes because there won't be any water there. So it's understanding some basics of chemistry. You can always look up things, experiments on YouTube and so on. And it's just being smart, because if I drained this off and one of them had high levels of alkaline in it, say for this one here, I wouldn't want, nothing I would give to anybody else that I haven't used myself and aren't exactly happy with what I've produced. So basically, if I had these other ones drained off and I put one which had a high alkaline level, then obviously it would kind of spoil the batch in that sense. I'd have to look at sort of neutralising that, because you wouldn't notice it first, but then you'd notice this on your sort of tongue. So basically, I'd have to process it and experiment with it further. But yeah, okay, well, I'll show you the results later on once I've cooked it up and got it down to a powder form.